Welcome back, Tiger fans, to Rockin' Radio's football podcast. I'm Nate Edwards. That's Nathan Hurst. This is Before the Box Score. It is 1 week and 1 day until Missouri kicks off the 2025 season. Probably while you're hearing this, exactly 1 week, maybe less than a week. We're getting very excited for Central Arkansas, but I'm more excited the fact that Nathan Hurst is back in our presence, back gracing us with his voice and his face. Hi, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel alive and well. I didn't pass away in the what seemed like a lifetime that I was away, but I know that I was more than well filled in for by the expert voices that guested in my stead.
Yeah, a lot of good outside voices to tell us more about what we know about this team. But now we're back. We're getting ready to huddle up and take on the season full head. We got some news to talk about. We got some updates on positions, and we got we're going to be talking about leadership and how much leadership a single team needs. But first, Eli Drinkwitz teased out a potential answer to the riddle that has been beguiling Mizzou fans all offseason. And that one is, who's going to be the starting quarterback? And he said in a press conference, don't worry, don't need to ask that. I'll answer it in 24 hours. We'll have it figured out. And today, what did he do? Put out a press release. Email went straight to my inbox from the new SID. I'm like, from the desk of Eli Drinkwitz. Oh my goodness, what is this? Beep, boop, boop. We've decided to have both quarterbacks play against Central Arkansas. That's the big reveal, which is where we were always going to end up anyway. But Eli Drinkwitz can't help it, but be a little dramatic. Play up a little bit of intrigue, play up a little bit of Riz. Is that what the kids are calling it? I don't know, but you know what? It caught our attention. And now there's, 40 different reactions on podcasts, a bunch of social media storms about opinions on managing quarterbacks, both from inside, outside, and fans of the program. And then here's another podcast. We're going to talk about it here. Nathan Hurst, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, as you said, this is exactly where we were always headed. From the moment it was clear that there wasn't going to be a obvious winner to this battle in June, this is kind of where we were headed, I think. It's exactly what he did in 2023, even though we kind of had a good idea about who was going to end up winning that job. I think we still have a pretty good idea about who's going to ultimately win the job. Mm-hmm. But he's making a show that this is a legitimate competition, that he gave everybody a full try, a full opportunity to win the job. And I think that's for a lot of different benefits. I think it's for both the candidates benefit in case one, whoever doesn't and ultimately end up winning the job, that hopefully they will stay engaged in, the rest of the season. Because we've seen what happens when you don't have a really solid backup. It's also for the benefit of the team so that they can see that, yes, in this most important position on the field, we are going to find the best candidate for this job. There's no favoritism. There's no, this guy's making more money than this guy, so we have to play him. We're going to give everyone a full chance, and then make a final decision. And then finally, I think it's a decision he made for future Tiger quarterbacks to show that if you transfer here or if you come here as a high schooler, you will be given a full opportunity to win a job, even if everyone else thinks that the other guy is going to definitely win it. You're going to get a full job. You're going to actually even get to play the first game to prove it. Now whether or not that's actually the case or not, only Eli Drinkwitz probably really knows. But I think it's more than just an actual Sam Horn versus Bo Beulah figuring it out. I have a pretty good idea that he's already figured it out, or at least 95% of the way there. But it's really for everybody else, not necessarily the fans, not necessarily the media, but for current and future members of his team.
Sure. And it's, I think more so for the current. I mean, these are young guys. You cannot sit there and think, oh, well, you know what? They don't care who the quarterback is. They of course care about who the quarterback is. They probably have a favorite. And there is a solid chance that if the coach just says, well, we're just going with this and not give the other guy a shot, might create some division, might create some resentment. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's going to happen. So it's good to put on the kabuki dance of, yes, both guys have an equal chance, and we're going to assess it on the field because the 40 practices that we had, I don't know anything from it. But really, when you play against Central Arkansas, that's going to tell me how you're who's going to be good to go. Eli Drinkwitz likes experience. He likes age. He likes safe. And yeah, I think it's going to be Bo Pribula. I really do. But, and if something were to happen, because we've seen Brady Cook get injured, we've seen quarterbacks have to come in, Sam Horn needs to be ready. So I'm all about that. And I can't wait to see how the drives get broken up and what plays they call, and whether Central Arkansas decides to pull South Dakota and be total dicks and just hold on to the ball for the entire second half and not give him a chance to show off what he can do, because that's what happened last time. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think Central Arkansas has the same ability to do that South Dakota did. If you remember, South Dakota that year was a very good FCS team. I mean, they ended up making those semifinals of the FCS playoffs, I believe. So while the Tigers handled them easily, they did have the ability to hold on to the ball. Central Arkansas, not as much. So
Probably
I think
less,
we'll get it.
yes.
I think we'll see more snaps, probably from both guys than we saw in that game, which is good.
Yeah.
We'll see more. I mean, ideally, we'll see a lot of snaps from both, and then we'll see some snaps from Matt Zollers at the end of the game. Dude, that would be amazing, because he's got 4 games to get on the field as well, and I'd like to see him sling it around a little bit as well.
Hell, put Kevin Coleman in the Wildcat and let's see that. No,
Yeah.
Let's
That would
get
be great.
weird. Let's get weird. Yeah. So we'll figure it out. And then the second question, the second riddle of this offseason, what's the offensive line going to be? Specifically, what's going to be the left tackle? All right, who's going to be left tackle? Javen Richardson? I don't know. Is it Johnny? The West Virginia transfer? I don't know. Maybe. And then what does Eli Drinkwitz do? He turns everything on its head, and Caden Green, the guy who always wanted to play tackle, right? Goes to Oklahoma, gets told he's a guard, comes here, he gets told he's a guard. And now Johnny Williams and Javen Richardson might not even be the picture because of the development of 2 guards, specifically Curtis Piegler and Tristan Wilson, which has caused a logjam at the guard position, pushed out Caden Green potentially to left tackle, so that he can play a different position and get some more talented guards into the fold. So right now, it sounds like the offensive line left to right is Green, the transfer from Michigan, who I've not heard his name saying, Giudice, huh? No?
Gadis, I believe. I believe it's Gadis.
Boy, that is just wasped all to hell. Okay. Gotta make it sing. Okay. Gadis, Green Gadis, Tollison, as in Connor Tollison, we know him. Curtis Piegler, the development, and then Keegan Trost, the Wake Forest transfer. Thoughts? What do you think?
So if you had told me in June that this was going to be the ultimate, or at least the starting lineup going into the first game, I would have been worried. Because I thought would think that Green, his best position is left guard. So if they have to move him out to left tackle, that means either A, someone got injured, or B, no one was very good, and so you end up having to make 2 positions worse by moving Green to left tackle and then putting a worse version to replace him, either on the left guard or right guard in this case. Now that we're doing a little more reading about and listening to what the coaches are saying, I feel a little bit better about it. It sounds like it was maybe not entirely, but less so the fact that the other competitors for left tackle weren't great, and more so that there were guys like Piegler that they had a hard time keeping off the field, that he played well enough, he's developed well enough, that they feel like he's better at the right guard spot with Green at left tackle than Green at the left guard spot with Javen Richardson or Johnny Williams or whoever it is in the left tackle spot. So I'm going to trust the offensive line coaches. I'm going to trust Drinkwitz. They've put good lines on the field every year that they've been here. So I'm going to trust that they know what they're doing. We'll see. I think it also shows that there's some depth there. So if someone, God forbid, got hurt on the line, I think we've got a few guys that could fill in and do it at least an okay job in the replacement. So
No.
feeling all right about it, to be honest.
You know, last year's offensive line was really good at pass blocking, even though Missouri didn't do that as much. But the liability in pass blocking, and I can feel safe saying this because he's now a professional, was Marcus Bryant. He gave up pressure on 2.8% of his sacks, which was a full percentage point worse than everybody else. Caden Green was the best pass protector. So if you're thinking, okay, well, from year to year, assuming line go straight or line go up, you're moving literally your best pass protector to the position that needs pass protecting the most, which is left tackle for a right-handed quarterback. So, okay, good. Obviously, Green was no slouch at run blocking. Bryant was the best at that last year, but, well, Green was third, 1.3%, right behind Armand Mimbu at 1.2. So, assuming that where he does his blocking doesn't matter, which it does, but just assume that it doesn't, like, hey, moving that asset to the far left side where it's way more important. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of value to that. Not sure why they didn't figure that out now, but I guess it just took Peagler and Wilson a little bit more time over the summer to kind of figure it out. But Peagler is built like a 40-year-old man. Just from a build standpoint, he is huge. He should be playing in the NFL, but here he is. He's second year player. And we've been kind of waiting for him to do that sort of thing because, God, the second he jumped onto campus, he was already 6'4", 355. Now he's 6'4", 338, and I guess he'll be a fourth-year player now. But he saw a little bit of time last year and mop-up duty. Couldn't really glean anything from that. I'm just glad he's developed. This is the time where you expect those offensive linemen to develop around year 3, year 4. So the fact that you have Wilson and Peagler doing that is really good. I don't know what that means for Richardson and I want to forget his name, Johnny Williams. How can I forget that? The fourth. I don't know what that means for them, but you get your best 5 out there, and I'm like you. If they're telling me that is the best 5, all right, I'll believe it when I see it, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, at least according to the coaches going into the offseason, in a perfect world, one of the two of Richardson or Williams would have been such a standout at the left tackle spot that they would have been able to win that job hands down. Keep Green at left guard, which he could very well be a very good left tackle, but we know he's a really good left guard. So keep him where he's good and comfortable. And then let it fill out from there. That didn't play out. We don't really, since we can't watch practice, we don't know if it's because Richardson and or Williams didn't play well, or Green played really well, or Peagler just couldn't be left off the starting lineup. We just don't know. But moving guys around always comes with some risks because we know Green is a great guard, but we don't yet know if he's a great tackle. We'll find out. One thing I think really has kind of fallen through the cracks because all this talk about left tackle is Keegan Troost winning that right tackle spot, and pretty early on, it was pretty obvious that that was going to be his spot. And of all the offensive line transfers in the offseason, he was probably the least heralded, I would think, the least talked about for a variety of reasons. Journeyman, he's been at least 2, I think this might be his 3rd, if not 4th stop in his college career.
Well, and he's been at the lower levels for a good chunk of that. Indiana State is where he cut his teeth for most of it. So yeah, I think that's another aspect that was kind of going against him. But
he's very experienced, and it sounds like, even just over the summer, it kind of was obvious that was going to be a spot. If not over the summer, early on in camp, he locked that spot down. So that makes me feel a lot better about the right side, or at least the right tackle spot. Is that there really didn't seem to be a whole lot of competition for that spot. Now, is he going to be Armand Mimbu? Probably not, but he doesn't have to be. He just needs to do his job, and the rest will take care of itself. So I found that interesting and made me feel a little bit better about the overall ceiling of what this offensive line could be.
Yeah, and he's also, again, what do coaches like? They like age, they like experience, they like sure things. And I'm not saying getting snaps at Morgan State in Indiana State is more magical or better than getting them in the SEC, but the dude's played 38 games. He started 25 of them, and he's already almost 2,000 snaps. Yeah, 1,942 snaps of experience. Do you think there's a defensive lineman in the SEC who can do something to him that he has not seen before? I don't. I really do not think so.
At least not in a strategic way, maybe physically.
Sure, maybe
He probably won't,
physically,
but
but also like King and Trost entered college football when Barry Odom was the coach at Missouri. Okay, it's been a while. He's an old dude, and we've seen kind of these COVID kids. They they make their leap way towards the end because you're not good enough to go in the NFL, but you're good enough to stick around. Like this is where you see that leap. Xavier Delgado, Javon Foster, like that. They saw it in their last year. And Trost has been good. Last year against at Wake Forest, a 2.4% pressure rate. That's fine. He gave up only 2 sacks. That's not. It's fine. But he was also a really good run blocker. So like I think a lot of that just translated well. And you're like, okay, well we're going to be taking a step down from Mimbu anyway. Hey, a stopgap dude who's been playing for 8 years. Yeah, that's an easy one. We wait for everybody else to catch up. So I'm good with that too. And yeah, credit to him for doing that. Here is my worry. You remember the 2013 Missouri offensive line? How could you forget them? Just magical human beings left to right. And then you went to 2014 and you lost Copeland, you lost Britt. And you had to shake up Justin Britt, who was the left tackle, and Max Copeland, who was the left guard. So they had to shake it up, and they moved right guard Connor McGovern to right tackle. They moved right tackle Mitch Morris to left tackle, and they filled in with, I think, Brad McNulty and somebody else in guards, and it was not working. It was not working at all. There's way too much pressure being given up. They could not run the ball. Halfway through the year, right? You remember this? They bumped McGovern back inside, took some kid, Taylor Chappell, I think, who had barely played, slotted him at right tackle, and it took off. But you wasted a lot of snaps at the beginning of the year with not that. Now, people are people. College kids are college kids. You're never exactly sure, like, if practice is going to translate to the games. I understand that. But there is an inherent strength of playing somebody to what they're familiar with. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but that is a potential outcome. That just watch the line play, see how they play together, because maybe it doesn't translate to games.
yeah, I mean, and at least they have some options. I mean, we know that Johnny Williams, we know that Jalen Richardson were in deep competition, not only for the left tackle spot, but for the right tackle spot too. So if it's not working, they've got some options to juggle around and try to find what ultimately will be, hopefully, the answer to that problem. Hopefully they found it already. But
No, I hope this is it.
there are options on the roster, as Drinkwitz has said many times in the offseason. This is, he thinks, his most talented roster
You keep saying that.
he's had. And certainly I think that's the case on the defensive side of the ball, no question. On the offensive side of the ball, I mean, that we haven't seen it yet, but that could very well apply to the offensive line just in terms of the overall depth. I mean, there's 10 guys there that you could name and say, I feel like this guy could potentially come in and at least contribute. So there are options if injuries or poor play were to strike.
No. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. So let's go from the position battles to the leadership. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you won't have any quarterbacks. I've seen a lot of that thrown around, especially when it comes to Mizzou. If you have 9 captains, do you have 9 leadership, Nathan Hurst? Is that
You
how
have,
that works?
I think it's like on a logarithmic scale. So if you have 9 captains, I think you have like 5,000 leadership.
5,000. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good
like
stuff.
it just exponentially increases.
Well, then that makes all the sense in the world then. But
Just
yes,
so much leadership.
Missouri has increased their leadership ninefold, at least in bodies. I don't know if the team did this or the coaches did this or what, but they have elected nine captains for the 2025 season. They are quarterback Bo Pribula, quarterback Sam Horn, center Connor Tollison, potential guard, potential tackle Caden Green, defensive end Zion Young, linebacker Khalil Jacobs, safety Dalen Carnell, safety Jalen Catalon, and then in a newer development, a special teams captain, walk-on wide receiver Logan Muckey. Now, before we get into the other captains, take a look at the story on Muck. Really inspirational stuff. Had a big health issue earlier this year that he came over. Also, he's just he seems like a grinder, especially like a little bit of a gym rat. So kudos to him for the walk on getting the nod. Okay, but Nathan Hurst to the scholarship side, 2 quarterbacks, 2 offensive linemen, an edge or a defensive lineman, a linebacker, and 2 safeties. 9 leadership. What are we thinking?
I mean, I don't know. I can't wait to see them all walk out holding hands for
Yeah.
the coin flip.
Yeah.
Or do they take turns? Do they go in shifts? Do 5 go out at the first coin flip, and then if there's overtime, then the other 4 go out? Or do they have a designated coin flipper or a coin caller? I don't know, but I'm very interested to see how that that works out, because that could look really awkward if they stretch out halfway across the field and there's 2 guys on the other side trying to shake all their hands, shaking 9 people's hands before, and then all the refs. That
Yeah.
might get the game started a little bit later
Yeah.
than usual. Otherwise, it's an internal thing. It doesn't really. I don't think it really matters at all. When it comes down to it, I guess maybe they decided, we can't call it a legitimate quarterback battle if we name one of these quarterbacks the captain.
Yeah.
And we have to have a quarterback as our captain, because that's just a law in football. So, let's just make them both, I guess. And if they both are good leaders and they both have a good feel of the locker room and are respected in the locker room, why not? I think that's fine. It was just kind of funny. I mean, it's almost like Drinkwitz knew what he was doing when he did that, because they could have easily also just waited to announce those captains like the day of the Central Arkansas game, and then no one cares because we have football already. But they did that on purpose, I think, just to razz us a little bit.
Yeah. I think Eli Drinkwitz likes to create disrespect too. He wants people to pile on. Oh, you got 9 captains, so he could say, "Well, these young men have been putting in all the effort, and we, just be on the soapbox and coach his team, be in the media." So whatever, it's not for me. I do really like the concept of shaking hands with all 9. A very like if you all remember the movie Spies Like Us, the doctor. Boy, that would be a lot of fun to see the refs try to manage that. But yeah, this is one of those things where it's not for you. It's not for you, Johnny fanboy.
Yeah.
It's not for us, Nate podcasters. It's just like earning your number. It's just like something to prove. It's just like Brotherhood of the Wilderness. It ain't for you. You're going to hear about it, not for you. So I poke a little bit of fun at it because it's unique and odd and cool. Okay. But it doesn't really matter. I will say, if this is a voting thing, right? Like if this is, dude, we had so many votes like for this guy, we could not hold him out. I'm impressed that Jalen Catalon got the nod. Now he's another old guy, but he's been at 3 different teams, or 2 different teams, 3 different teams. This will be his 4th. And he got the nod for captain. And I know they talked about his work ethic, especially when they went on their mission trip. So I think Mr. Catalon has certainly endeared himself to this team and embedded himself pretty well, especially considering that he played against us for like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, that's cool to see. But we'll see. Khalil Jacobs, another transfer. Now he's in his 2nd year, but same for Zion Young, another transfer in his 2nd year. And of course, Bo Pribula. We can't leave him out. And Caden Green. Oh my God. I mean, the only homegrown guys, you got Connor Tollison and Dalen Cornell. Holy cow.
And
I just realized
Logan Muckey and Sam Horn.
Yeah. So, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay. Yeah. 4 homegrown, 5 transfers.
Which is about the percentages of the team, it seems like, anyway.
It's not that bad, but point taken.
No.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, we'll see how they do. I would, if I had to guess, it's probably gonna be a rotating cast of captains of the week, and you just pull from that 9-man roster. Also, it doesn't matter. It's all made up. Points don't matter. It's not for you. So just enjoy the fact that this team really seems to like themselves. They like each other and they're talented. So that's a good thing. Okay, Hurst. So let's talk about this season. I had on BK. I had on SEC Mike, and I had on the blog father Bill C. And the one question that I asked all of them was, what are the vibes around Missouri? Now, 2 of those guys are closer. The other one is more kind of SEC focused, but just what are we? What is Mizzou this year? So now I get to ask you that too. What are your vibes around this team? What are you thinking? Interpret that as you see fit. You got 3 minutes. Go.
I mean, I think the vibes are unknown, and I don't mean to say that as a cop out but I think like question mark is a vibe, and that's the vibe that this team is. I think that the vibe is that this team could be really good, but it also could not be that great. It's not the vibe of a cellar dweller 4-8 team, but it's also not the vibe of a 12-1, 11 and 10-2 team necessarily. But it's just a question mark. It could be anywhere in between there, and that's what I get from everything that I'm reading myself, what other people are saying about this team, nationally, locally. It's a lot of unknown. I mean, we know there's some pieces that are going to be really good. We think the defense is going to be really good. We don't know what the offense is going to be. We don't even know who's going to be the quarterback. So we don't know what the offensive line is going to be, or ultimately if it's going to land on what it is now. A lot of big question marks about the receivers. Running backs, maybe we know that's going to be a pretty good unit, but that's really about it. So the vibe is, we'll see. Can't wait to find out. But just about anything between 5-7 and 10-2 is on the table this year, in my opinion. And I'm really excited to see where it falls. Now, I could make a prediction where I think it'll fall, but I would not be shocked if it fell at anywhere in that very wide range.
Okay, but I would be even as a negative Nate. 10-2 feels a lot closer than 5-7. That would take some serious injuries and
Yes, but it's not. It would not be shocking if it was January 1 and we're sitting at home and not going to a bowl game, and I told you that's because we're 5-7. You would be disappointed, and say, "Oh man, what happened?" And the most likely would be, "Oh, we had, whoever our starting quarterback got hurt, and 2 offensive linemen were hurt, and the defense, ended up being, the defensive line was a problem. We didn't really think it was going to be ahead of time, and it ended up being a problem. Whatever that might be, that wouldn't be shocking. I would not predict that that's going to happen, but it could. And you told me on the other end, this team is 10-2, and they are going to be in the playoff. I would not be shocked. I would be surprised and overjoyed and elated, but I wouldn't say that's an impossible thing to happen either.
No. All right. Well, let's play the schedule game. Let's walk through it. I've already played this once, and I'm sure my answer might change a little bit because it's a different vibe today. But let's go through the schedule. Central Arkansas next Thursday. I mean, that's a win, right?
You win.
Okay, 1-0 for both of us. Kansas, Saturday the 6th at Faroe.
That will be a win.
Okay, 2 wins for each of us. Then you get the Louisiana Raging Cajuns on September 13th.
That will be a win.
Okay, I agree. 3. Preseason number 13, South Carolina Gamecocks coming to town. What do you got?
That'll be a win. Feel good about it.
Okay.
That one will be a win.
I'm putting it down as a win too. That's 4. Homecoming, UMass, Minutemen.
That'll be a win.
That's going to be a win. Yeah, 5. So you got 5 wins. You got first 5 weeks of the season. Well, week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is 5 straight wins. All of them home games. Then you have a bye week on October 4th. Then, preseason number 8, Alabama Crimson Tide at home.
That will be the first time that they fall. I know Alabama is going to be very good this year. They're going to be better than they were last year. And we saw what happened last year. So it'll be closer than it was last year. I don't think they'll get shut out, but it's going to be a loss.
So still at 5 wins, 5-1 for both of us. October 18th, the first road game of the season to Auburn.
This is where it gets tough. And we're gonna talk about Auburn. We're gonna talk about at Vanderbilt. And I think they're going to lose at least one of those games. I think Auburn's going to be one that they lose, so I'm going to say loss at Auburn.
Okay, I'm going to say loss at Auburn as well. Missouri's 5-2 for both of us. At Vanderbilt, the vaunted First Bank Stadium.
Yeah, I think that they're going to win that one. It's going to be horrible and ugly and disgusting, and we're going to hate our lives. But it's going to be a patented Eli Drinkwitz 1 possession game victory, however that may be.
I think that's a loss. So you're at 6 wins. I'm at 5. Then you have a bye week, November 1st, and then preseason number 19, Texas A&M at home.
They're going to win that game.
Really?
Because I don't think that Texas A&M's offense is going to be worth a damn. So they're going to win that game.
Okay, I think that's a loss. I'm still at 5.
Their defense is going to be very good, but so is Mizzou's defense. So it'll be in my opinion, it'll be very similar to that awful Oklahoma game of last year.
Yeah.
Tigers are going to come out on top.
Okay. And then the last home game of the year, November 15th, Mississippi State.
That's a win.
That is a win. Yes, I'm with you. I'm at 6. You're at 8. Going to preseason number 18, Oklahoma, Gaylord family. What do you got?
That'll be a loss. I don't think Oklahoma is going to be. The 18 might be about right, and they might be around 18 by the time Mizzou goes there. They haven't won. Mizzou hasn't won in Norman since the 60s.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure that's going to change anytime soon.
Fair enough. I'm saying it's a win. Haha. So now we're at 7. I'm at 7. You're at 8, and then you finish it up going to Arkansas on November.
And that'll be a win. I'm not sure Sam Pittman will be in his seat at that time. So that will be a win.
All right. So I'm 8-4. You're 9-3. That's what we got. How do you
9-3? I could easily see. There's a couple swing games in there. The Auburn game is a swing game. The Vanderbilt game is a swing game.
Arkansas is always a swing game.
I mean, is it?
It is.
I mean, it's a road game, and Eli Drinkwitz has trouble on road games, so that might make it a swing game. I'm not super worried about that one, but I mean, the Texas A&M game, I think Mizzou will win, but that easily could go the other way too. So, I mean, I have 9-3, but if you told me 7-5, yeah, that's certainly on the table.
Yeah. We did this last time, and I was at 8-4, and I'm at 8-4 again. So I think that's kind of where I'm at. And frankly, I'd be pleased with 8-4. This offense screams transition year. This defense screams playoff. Split the difference. Call it 8 wins. I'd be happy. I really would.
8-4 would be. I would put that as the baseline of a successful season this year.
Yeah.
As long as you come out of it establishing who your quarterback for next year is going to be.
Yes.
Because both of the top guys have 2 years of eligibility left. So as long as you establish who the guy is going to be, and he's a dude for next year, and you get the now not that young wide receivers, find 2 of those guys that are going to be studs for you next year. Make sure Ahmad Hardy is who he thinks he is. Offensive line, you're going to lose a few guys, but you maybe make sure you got at least 2 returners that are good. The defense, I think, is going to remain deep next year, though they will lose a few pieces as well. So 8-4 is baseline, coming off 2 10-win seasons, or an 11 and a 10-win season. I think that you'd have to be content with that.
Yeah, I would, and I know people are going to say the schedule's easy, but no SEC schedule.
There is not an easy SEC schedule.
This is one of the easier ones, but there's no easy SEC schedule. So yeah. All right, cool. Well, Missouri is kicking off on Thursday night. That is a week from tomorrow as we record this. It's a nice little tradition to have. Start the game, start the year on Thursday. Just beat the hell out of your opponent and then enjoy the week ahead full of football. But yeah, talking season's over, man. We are here. We're talking actual rosters, actual players, actual games. We will be coming back to you next week on Wednesday, I think, to preview the game. Yeah, I think we'll do Wednesday. And then we'll do a recap afterwards at some point. We'll figure that out. But yeah, I get back to 2 shows a week, both the preview and the post-game shows. So you can be looking forward to that. And really all this is just a prelude to gearing up for the stupid Kansas Jayhawks coming to town in 2 weeks. So getting very excited about that. Any last thoughts, Nathan Hurst? Any words of wisdom to part before we get the heck out of here?
If you're on the north side of Columbia this weekend, come by. We're having a garage sale. Buy my crap because I don't want it. So,
are we going to dox you? Are we going to dox you?
You don't have to you don't have to give me money. Just drive around, look for signs. We'll be around. Take my stuff. If you tell me you listen to the podcast, I might give it to you for free. We'll see. I just want to get rid of it.
Boy. So, all right. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to just pull a Hansel and Gretel, and you're just going to yell Nathan Hurst's name somewhere in North Columbia until he responds, and then you go buy his stuff for free if you tell them that you listen to the show. That's the
Got a lot of children's toys and books and outside toys. So take them. Just take them. I don't want them.
That's right.
I don't want them.
Free stuff. But yeah, hey, that's the show for today. As always, we appreciate the downloads and the subscriptions. Leave a comment or rate us. We love all types of feedback from you all. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Nate G. Edwards. He's at Burst to Hurst. Of course, you can follow the Rock M flagship at Rock M Nation and our podcasting outlet at Rock M Radio. We appreciate you tuning in this time. We'll try to do better next time. And until then, MIZ.
ZOU.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Rock M Radio, a proud partner of Fans First Sports Network. Rock M Radio is the official podcast network of Rock M Plus, a new and exciting subscription service provided by me and the other voices of Rock M Radio. Please take a few moments to head over to rockm.plus and sign up for an account today. The cost is only $5 a month, and the benefits include access to our live podcast, a subscriber-only message board, weekly newsletters, and more. If you enjoyed this episode of Rock M Radio and would like to see more just like it beamed directly into your personal device, make sure to click the subscribe button below and tell your friends. Our podcast feed is available through the Apple Podcast app for iPhone, Google Podcast app for Android, whatever app you listen to your podcast. You can also find Rock M Radio on Spotify. If you're looking for a podcast about your favorite team that is not Missouri Tigers, Fan First Sports Network is your answer. A full podcast network loaded with the team-specific podcasts covering Major League Baseball, the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLS, and more. And we'll be back with more episodes of Rock M Radio coming to you soon.